you go.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Deontay Wilder has single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. We unpack. Coming to you live. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Excuse me. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Tonight's the night. ESPN Plus pay-per-view, Conor McGregor's return versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone on UFC card 246. Use the link in the description box of my video, and it helps my channel, helps us grow. A lot of you guys are going to be watching the fight anyway, so if you use that link, it definitely helps your man and the channel. We booming. So I want to talk about this great article that I read from Yahoo Sports. Link will be in the description. Make sure you guys go give the site some traffic. This is good, you know. Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports, he has an article titled Deontay Wilder has single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. Now, I know the detractors and the naysayers and, you know, the people who hate on Wilder for no apparent reason, they're going to have a lot to say. And immediately before I get in the video or read any excerpts from the article, they're going to try to debunk it, try to confuse you, try to give someone else credit. But I think Kevin Iole, just with the title and, you know, since I've read the article, he hit the nail on the head. Deontay Wilder has single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. I really think he's accurate. Says 5 years into his reign as WBC heavyweight champion, questions still remain about Deontay Wilder. 2015, Wilder beat Bermane Stiverne for the WBC belt. That win came when there were legitimate questions about the caliber of opposition that he had fought and the heavyweight division at the time. But now the heavyweight division is better than it has been in years. And the primary question surrounding Wilder is whether he's the hardest punching boxer in boxing history. It was just 5 weeks ago, Joshua beat Ruiz, etc., and 5 weeks away from Wilder versus Fury 2. There was no guarantee that Wilder would be the guy to help drag the division out of its dark ages. He had no real wins of note prior to fighting Stiverne 5 years ago, even though he entered the bout with a 32-0 record and 32 knockouts. He showed an extraordinary power. 18 of his 32 wins were by first round knockouts. So, I mean, just listen to this, bro. He knocked everybody out, 32-0. And 18 of them, so more than half, or actually just about half, were conducted by first round knockouts. And you have to understand, some people, oh, he was fighting bums and all this stupid shit. You go to 3 to 7 different bars and pick fights with 32 people and tell me if you knock all of them out. You know, you're still knocking out a grown ass 205+ pound man. You know, most of these dudes are at least 6'1" to 7 feet tall. You know, there's no real, it takes something, trust me. Because like I said, if most people watching this video were to get into random street fighters, these people might not be professional fighters or even know how to fight or even journeyman level fighters. They're just a guy off the street, and you start punching somebody up, you know, let's see if you knock out 32 people, let alone knock out 18 of the 32 in short order. But they came against no-hopers or fighters on the back ends of their career. But I don't agree with that fully, because there are people like Sergey Likovich and stuff like that. And he was once considered a real contender, but whatever. And this was Wilder climbing through the ranks. So why would his competition immediately be championship level? He had to learn on the job, started boxing later, etc. So I'm just giving you my thoughts blended in with this article, and I'll give you my thoughts unpacked when I'm finished. His most notable opponent at that stage was probably Malik Scott, Sergey Lukovic, and Audley Harrison. None of them was truly a threat. I mean, they weren't a threat because they lost. Audley Harrison and Malik Scott got knocked out in the first round, and Lukovic might have been the first, might have been the second, and he started having a seizure. And though Wilder defeated Stavern by a wide margin, he won 10, 11, 12 of the rounds, according to 3 judges, to become champ. He left the ring with as many questions as he answered. Stavern was hospitalized after the fight for basically dehydration, but Wilder was unable to finish him. You know, and I think that's a little bit of the journalist writing and, you know, showing objectivity, but who cares? If you're, I'm getting sick of boxing fans and this narrative that somebody not getting finished is the end all be all. I mean, how many people has Golovkin not finished recently? Jacobs, 2 Canelo fights, Sergey Deryovchenko, right? He ain't finished those people, right? Canelo, there's guys he didn't finish. Lara, and Lara was not even as offensive in the second half of the fight. You know, things like that. He struggled with Kovalev. And that, you know, I don't even want to get into that fight. But anyway, people did this with Gervonta Davis too. Like, oh, it took you 12 rounds. But there's other guys out there, like, let's say Nonito Donaire, or excuse me, Nayao Inoue. He just fought Donaire, who's been stopped, who almost got stopped by Rigondeaux and got dominated by Rigondeaux. And he was just in the war with Donaire. Inoue he's supposed to be the in prime, you know, Japanese threat, the monster. He's a great fighter. Just got signed with Top Rank, but he didn't even stop him. You know, he knocked him down. Why didn't he stop him? You know, so you can't do that. It is what it is. Donaire is definitely considered to be, the people thought he was going to get blown out. They thought he was, you know, definitely on the back end of his career. So we got to stop this narrative. It's boxing. You know, sometimes a guy tastes that pain and he don't want more of it. So fight or flight mode, and then they become harder to get up out of there. It's just common sense in boxing. But says he didn't give any indication that the night that he would be special. But as he awaits the Fury rematch, which is expected to do more than 1 million buys, the script has changed. Wilder no worse than 1A behind Fury when talking about the world's best heavyweight, and to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's already number 1. I agree that he is number 1. I don't think he's 1A, 1B. Fury got knocked out. It is what it is. Fury held a good account of himself in the rounds he boxed, but ultimately he was knocked out. Boom. I think there's a lot of like narratives and stuff in boxing, and you know, maybe that's why my channel might not be some people's cup of tea, because I'm just going to say it outright. You know, it's not this 1A, 1B stuff. I get it for Crawford and Errol Spence because they haven't fought. We don't know who's 1A, 1B, but Fury, Wilder, like really, what has he really done? Like, he beat Klitschko and then went off the deep end, and he ain't fought nobody since Klitschko except for Wilder, and he was knocked out in that fight, unconscious. Everybody else he fought, you know, and especially like if you look at like people, writers, and this article and stuff, they're criticizing Wilder's first 32 opponents was Tom Schwartz and Otto Violin, and he's at least solid, but he, you know, he still hadn't proven nothing to the point in which he fought Tyson Fury, and he busted Fury up. You know, definitely the guys when he first got back, Safiri, Francisco Pineda. I mean, are these guys world beaters? People keep holding Wilder to this godlike, ungodly standard, you know, and it's just like, I'm like, who's Fury fought? The Fury fought Klitschko in like 2015. That's the year Mayweather fought Pacquiao, people, November. And he disappeared for 3 years. And people seem to, oh, he's back. Bro, he's back. How would Klitschko victory from 2015, and it was a boring fight. It wasn't like he beat Klitschko for sure. And I respect the fact that he just broke the trend and beat Klitschko when other people had no way to beat Klitschko. I respect that. But it wasn't like this sensational, dominant performance that impressed, like, you know, like Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, where it was just like this one-sided, you know, thrash. It was one-sided, but it was for a different reason, you know, the feints and stuff. And he was, you know, he threw a few more punches, but it wasn't even a high volume type of fight. In fact, as a fight, it threw They threw combined a career low for any heavyweight fight, I think, in history. So, you know, people keep holding Fury to like really what he's done in the past. Like, you look at even a guy like Pacquiao. Pacquiao has 70 fights, 70 plus fights. He's doing good stuff now, or like he just beat Keith Thurman. He just beat Broner. These are top 10 guys in current welterweight, and he's able to beat them. And if you look at, like, let's say Pacquiao versus Thurman, I think Pacquiao versus Thurman was more exciting and looked better throughout that fight than Tyson Fury looked versus Klitschko, or Joshua versus Ruiz too, you know? And people keep acting like this is a question. I don't see it, but that's a little sidebar for you. He's dropped every man he's fought and had Fury down twice in their classic fight. It was only a miracle Fury recovered from a thudding 12th round knockdown and kept Wilder from becoming the lineal heavyweight champion. One judge scored that fight for Wilder, a second had it for Fury, a third had it even, meaning a split draw. Since that night, Wilder knocked out Brazil first round, Luis Ortiz in the 7th, both with nuclear bombs disguised as right hands. Ex-trainer Ben Davison said after Wilder stopped Ortiz in November that he felt Wilder was the hardest puncher in boxing history. That's saying something considering the huge number of sluggers who have existed, but it is hardly a stretch. While Wilder seemed wild and crude heading into 2015 with Stavern, even that perception has changed thanks to new media. I told you. See, man, let me just keep going. I'm just so happy. He's far from the classic boxer, but he showed repeatedly he's able to create openings for his power shots with his style. Boxing is all about maximizing your strengths and minimizing the opponent's strengths so that you land more and more significant blows than the other side. Wilder has done that repeatedly, and Fury said at a news conference last week, it's not luck, he's got to land those. 5 years ago when he beat Stavern, Wilder became a title holder in one of boxing's worst divisions. Today, he has made 10 successful defenses and is regarded among the greatest punchers in the sport's colorful history, and stands on the verge of a mega payday with Fury. Other big bouts against Joshua Ruiz and Fury can come after that. 5 years is a long time to reign as champion, and Wilder has proven that. And to those who doubted him on the night that he won the belts, they were misguided. We're in the midst of the heavyweight renaissance, and it's Wilder who's driving that bus. You know, I think that was a solid article from Yahoo Sports, and I have to say, I have to give credit to myself and new media. We drove it. I told you, everything starts with us. In America, we control the narrative. Throughout boxing, we control the narrative. I know on my channel, I was willing, and this is a homage, anniversary post. Rest in peace to Muhammad Ali. His birthday was yesterday. Also, this fight took place on the same day as Muhammad Ali's birthday. I remember that during that, and that's what he says. January 17th will always be a special day for me. 5 years ago today, I proved all the doubters wrong and became the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Today is also the birthday of the late, great Muhammad Ali, GOAT. You know, and he did the fist, blessed, Bomb Squad to this day. You know, it's just been awesome. It's been an awesome ride for Wilder, also for new media, because there were a lot of naysayers. I know for a fact, old media, they thought they could intimidate us and get us, because you have to understand, this last 5 years, there were still people who doubted. Wilder just kept proving people wrong. New media just kept proving people wrong. And I use it because it was happening parallel to each other. That's why I'm able to compare and unpack it all together, because the same struggles Wilder went through as a human being, as a fighter, as a top level guy to earn respect, new media had to go through that, because we were some of the main and the first culprits that were even giving Wilder an ounce of credit. See, I'm talking about you got to know your history. It's just like anything you get. If you want to be a rapper, know who came before you, know hip hop history. And in this boxing game, it wasn't fashionable to say certain things, especially a guy like Wilder, because Anthony Joshua was undefeated. So he has a fanatical fan base, and he has there's a white male with blue eyes in the form of Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn, who are pumping out little things, and they were trying to slander Wilder and make it look like Wilder was. There was a lot of people trying to throw smut on Wilder's name. You know, Eddie Hearn was doing his best politician job of trying to make it look like Wilder was intimidated of Joshua, or he was the holdup to the fight. You know, saying things, oh, he's coattailing Joshua. So for the last few years, we had to deal with a lot over here on my channel. And if you've been a day one, an A1 since day one on my channel, you'll know I used to do live streams, and the people saying Wilder should sign to DAZN. People saying that Wilder has to build up his profile to get Joshua. He has to fight Dillian White to get Joshua, build up his UK profile and presence to fight Joshua. They were saying that Wilder's still bum squad, even though he was fighting Luis Ortiz, or he would fight him and then fight him again and then fight Tyson Fury. They were still calling him a bum. I mean, it was just nonsense, ludicrous nonsense. They were saying he doesn't deserve 50-50. So we were right here, new media, 10 toes deep, fighting the same battle as Wilder to make sure he was, as an American champion and an American Olympian, that he was getting his just due credit. And now the dust is settled. You see who's still standing, Wilder and new media, right? So his story and his rise to fame is really synonymous to new media. You know, I was already relevant on this platform, digital space, you know, digital mob, you know, before Wilder really started coming into fruition. But it only helped because I seen his cause, I seen his plight, and I was riding with it. I told you, not coming to America and disrespecting Americans and expecting to get money from America. I told you how that wasn't going to happen. People were doing this man greasy. Now look at him meeting the Pope, you know, going to Rome. Pope Francis names Wilder the boxing ambassador for peace. We did this all together, bro. This is black excellence at its finest. Now people have no choice. Now it's fashionable to like Wilder. Now I see hip hop culture using Wilder's name in references and bars and battle raps and songs and making songs and, you know, screaming till this day. We helped make that fashionable alongside with the champ himself, Deontay the Braun Bomber Wilder. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated. It's so, we living in exciting times. And that's what it is. Wilder Fury 2 is a great fight. I'm glad the two networks and, you know, Size of the Street and all that got it done. This absolutely will, without a shadow of a doubt, if there's a clean winner, which I hope this, you know, is no deja vu, this will establish the #1 heavyweight. You know, all that lineal stuff and all that stuff ends because whoever wins, if they win clean, boom, they take off. They're the ultimate. As far as Wilder being the biggest puncher, I said it years ago. You know, I told you in the past video, this is all true. Everything I say is real. I told my brother that, and he was like, nah, I don't know. He's like, he hits hard, but I don't know if he's the biggest puncher. He might be the biggest puncher in boxing history, people. And that's no cap or just, you know, because he shouted out the channel. You know, I don't have to do no stupid stuff like that, because those things exist regardless of if he did that or not. Man can hit. You know, with his starting boxing late, his improper technique and stuff that people always talk about, you know, he's doing something right. And, you know, one of the things that proves to me that he's the hardest puncher in boxing history is his size. Yeah, he's tall, but he's really lean. You know, he's lean and he don't even be weighing that much. In fact, Alexander Usyk just moved from cruiserweight and outweighed Wilder in a few fights. You know, Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. And Usyk didn't even really look good in his last fight with the 3-day replacement Chaz Tablespoon. Wilder fought Luis Ortiz sick and undersized, so to speak. You know, he wasn't big. He didn't get outweighed. I mean, he viciously got outweighed and he dropped and slept Luis Ortiz, had him dribbling, spit was coming out of his mouth. That's real power, people. Tyson Fury is a big dude. He's almost 7 feet tall. He's 6'9", and we know he's wider and weighs more. Look at Wilder. Like, look at his frame. People always talk about his legs is skinny. You get in the ring with him. You be the next Charlie Z. You be the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. And, you know, it gets old hearing the same stuff. When will people just bow down? If he beats Tyson Fury, a lot of y'all gonna look foolish because it'll be a certified victory, especially if he knock him out, which most people think if he wins, that's how he's going to win. You know, people keep talking about his technique. Who cares? Just like Kevin Iole said in that report and that article, you gotta maximize your strengths and minimize the other person's strength. That's it. So if you have an equalizer, which is your power, even I know that is not the only thing that Wilder is doing right, because there's been a lot of guys who have power. Kendall Hope, he got cracks. Julian Jackson, he got cracks, right? Lucas Matisse was in there with Victor Postal. We know Postal don't hit harder than Matisse, but Postal stopped him, didn't he? You know, there's tons of examples of Ruslan Provodnikov. Chris Algieri, we know for a fact Chris Algieri don't hit harder than Ruslan Provodnikov. Who won that fight? They gave it to Chris Algieri, right? Ruslan lost to Tim Bradley. We know Tim Bradley don't hit harder. What Wilder's doing is something special. It's like some X-Men Weapon X shit, bro. Because I just gave you several examples. Ruslan has lost fights, and not just to big punchers. He had Mauricio Herrera, Tim Bradley, right? Chris Algieri. None of them guys hit like Ruslan. So Wilder is clearly doing something in landing his shots and setting it up. That's skill. If you can keep getting it done in every single one of your fights to the point where you've hurt everybody, this is a skill, or this is some level of power that nobody has seen before, because that's not normal. That's not ordinary, bruh. That is not ordinary to hurt and mutilate and debilitate every single person that you touch or fight, and they can't get to you in the same way. Wilder has 10 fights as a champion only. You know, he has obviously more than that, 40 plus just in general, but 10 title defenses. Nobody has dropped him. People, they have no, like, Wilder is an anomaly, bro. They have nothing else to say, so they say stupid shit. Look at his legs, chicken leg. Bro, you standing there with chicken legs or chicken little, whatever you talking about, and you take them punches. You be the next Charlie Zealand off. You know, just foolishness, like buffoonery, right? They say stupid stuff. Oh, he got hurt by Eric Molina. But what was the end result? He never went down. He never got dropped in that fight. He got buckled, and he stood his ground, and he came back and stopped Eric Molina viciously before Anthony Joshua. You know, oh, Luis Ortiz hurt him, though. What happened, though? Luis Ortiz got knocked down several times in the first fight, and Wilder stopped him. Then Wilder did something he didn't even have to do, which is give that man a rematch within a year while he was still relevant, still being ducked by everybody else with a name and with something to lose. And he gave him another shot. He came back correct. He came back in shape. And then he stretched him with one punch instead of several knockdowns and a accumulation beatdown. Bro, the man he's doing something. Because like I said, Ruslan Provodnikov, why didn't he, how come he hurt Chris Algieri badly, swole his whole eye up in the first 2 rounds, and then Algieri somehow outboxes him and stays safe? Why aren't other guys able to do that with Wilder, like Brazil or somebody? You know, like Ortiz, who's a great boxer. You know, how did Tim Bradley get hurt and he's doing cartwheels and he got a concussion, but he goes on to beat Ruslan Provodnikov? Wilder is different, and people got to give it up. Like I said, his skill is there because he has a bronze medal. They don't just hand that out. You know, he has a 1 medal lesser than Triple G and Amir Khan and shit. He got the same medal as Floyd Mayweather. People don't put this stuff in perspective. How Floyd I know Floyd got robbed, but that's what happened. Floyd got robbed, got a bronze. Boom, he got a bronze. It's what it is. But people are always quick to dismiss Wilder, say he's sloppy. The man is putting asses in the seats. He's a good dude, like just as a human, F the boxing stuff. He's a good person, and he gives the fans what they want. So Wilder's just shutting people up, and he's not giving people much to complain about. For years, people allegedly, all these old media people loved Golovkin. They said he was Mexican style with no Mexican background, no Mexican hair. He don't have no Mexican heritage, not an ounce of Mexican in his blood, but somehow he's Mexican style. And he's not even fighting in the manner of this alleged style that he doesn't have. He's not even fighting like that. He didn't fight David Lemieux like that. Wilder tells you at the press conference what to expect. So if you pay your money, which everybody should be for this level of entertainment, then he says, don't blink. Grab your popcorn early. Make sure you already went to the store. Use the bathroom. Because when I fight, they gotta be on a job for 12 rounds. I just gotta be perfect. 2 seconds. He tells you. And then it happens. The man is speaking it into existence. I'm happy. He's definitely for the culture. And new media, we won this one. The people are saying he need to do this and sign to this person, do what someone else says, listen to Eddie Hearn. Bump all that. This man is the American dream. He did it the new media way, the bronze bomber way, the till this day way. He said, I'm doing it. I'm doing what I want to do. Just like people before him, Floyd Mayweather, Rosa Parks. He said, I'm going to do it my way. You know, I'm betting on me. And that means something. So great article from Kevin Iole. Smack dab. Deontay Wilder has single-handedly revived the heavyweight division. Not Anthony Joshua. They don't even know Anthony Joshua like that. He's big in the UK. Americans who watch boxing, they'll know Joshua, but the sports world doesn't. He's not on. This man, Deontay Wilder, is knocking people out, and it's on ESPN, you know, their top 10, top 5 sports plays mixed in with baseball and football and stuff like that. He was on CBS, and everybody posted his Brazil knockout, went viral. Joe Rogan went viral. Conor McGregor. Everybody's talking about it when this man is fighting and getting these highlight reel knockouts. That's not the case when Joshua fights. I didn't see Conor McGregor and Joe Rogan mentioning Anthony Joshua's performance versus Ruiz too. The most press in America that Joshua, this is facts. This is facts. And if you disagree, definitely leave a detailed comment how I'm wrong, because we unpacking this. We unpack coming to you live, right? The most press that Joshua has ever received in America was when he got slept by Andy Ruiz in the first fight, June 1st. That is it. That is the most attention that he's ever received from Americans, and like replays and millions of views. Just men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Go look at the stats. There's nothing when he posts a picture meeting up with Usyk's people or Kubrat Pulev press conference, getting pushed by Gerald Miller. None of that is tallying up to the viewership that was gained when he got slept. Wilder's the king of the jungle, and he revived the heavyweight division. Like it or not, we unpacked. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.